So ratchet, low IQ, and low accountability black folks have started a free Carmelo movement.
Y'all not gonna make me believe or feel any kind of sympathy for Austin Metcalf at all. He put his hands on that young man when he should have kept them hands to himself. When the young man told him, touch me and see, you bet not touch me, that meant that I don't want you in my space, I don't want you touching me.
These people are completely insane. And first of all, black people, like, that's who's leading your community right now. Like, that woman.
This guy here, he's calling the lady ratchet and insane, but you're not explaining what about what she's saying is wrong. You're just throwing insults. And this is something that I've noticed with a lot of black conservatives, not all of them, but so many of them will do anything to get white approval. So they will just start to just call names and, you know, they'll get like white people bigging them up. And instead of calling a lady a name, why don't you address why she's wrong and leave the insults out of it?
The archetype of that woman is leading your community. Literally, low info, low IQ, super emotional, thinks that they know.
No, she's not super emotional. She's just stating her opinion on what happened, and that's sort of accurate from what I've heard. It's accurate. So what is lower IQ and so emotional about what she's saying? Uninformed. Why don't you made this video, so what is the information? You're not dealing with the information, you're dealing with insults.
Everything about everything. And the reason that blacks are failing right now, and I say this over and over again, in every conceivable metric in society, is because that is who you have leading. You have zero accountability, you have highly emotional, and for her to compare this 17-year-old kid who stabbed and killed another 17-year-old to Rosa Parks and say those days of turning the other cheek are over, like, this is insanity. Honestly, when I look at something like this, it makes me sad because this is why black people fail. Leaders like that.
The clip that he posted here was just that part. The Rosa Parks idea, he didn't really say anything about. But yes, are there elements of black culture that need to be addressed? Sure. That is an argument that people use to attack the black community. But in fact, that could be true in another instance. From what I'm hearing, that is not what she's talking about. And he should be just dealing with what she is talking about and nothing else. But typically you see black conservatives that do this in order to get white support by calling names and names that some whites would want to call instead of dealing with the information.
Do you believe that this thug, I called him what he is. You kill somebody, you're a thug, right? He is asking for his bond to be reduced because he has $1 million bond. Karmelo Anthony is actually asking for it to be reduced in new charges.
So to call somebody a thug, and this is a guy who is Reverend Jordan Wells. He's a guy that's trying to blow up, not getting too much traction. He's trying to be, get on the black conservative kind of Candace Owens chain and stuff like that. He's kind of like a small time pastor in Jacksonville, Florida. But if I'm not mistaken, Carmelo Anthony was a student that had a 4.0 student. He had never been in any kind of criminal issues before. And he is technically innocent before proven guilty. So I don't understand how the young man, in your opinion, is a thug, okay? The courts have not decided his fate yet, so he cannot be a thug. But you have blacks like this who are trying to get somewhere further in the black conservative movement. And again, you guys don't like my voting decisions. I am a registered Republican, but I am still an African-American first. I'm still black first, which supersedes political parties, okay? That's the one thing with me. My race and my love for my community supersedes that of any political party, right? And I'm pretty sure that every other group, many people feel that way about their own. And what we keep seeing here is people sending out, I'm not gonna say sending out, but they're trying to get those black conservative biscuits, and then ultimately nobody's even watching you because whatever you're doing sucks. But let's continue.
This is crazy. This is crazy. He killed somebody, right? And all them people that are justifying murder, you are an idiot. You are a bad person for you to justify the murder of anybody.
I don't think people do not feel bad for Austin Metcalf. It's certainly a situation in which you don't want anybody to lose their life. I mean, he's a young kid. regardless of race and any of that. Austin Metcalf, hey, we don't want him to be dead, okay? The question is, was this justified as a self-defense mechanism? That's where the argument is. In all of these other names, and again, these are black conservatives telling people, the black community, that they are emotional, that they don't have logic. And the last two guys that I'm listening to right now are just basically doing the same things that they accuse the black community of doing. They're not being rational in their thinking. They're not spitting any facts. I've seen people who've done a better job of presenting their case. I will say Brandon Tatum did a much better job of trying to come with what is the legal system and how the legal system might attack this situation. Instead, this guy is just shooting off at the mouth, saying anything because he's trying to appeal to white conservatives.
I might even use the Rosa Parks example. Rosa Parks didn't kill nobody because she would have been in jail too, right? What about Martin Luther King non-violence? Black people are all of a sudden they believe in violence against. They don't believe when white people, police officers, use violence against black people, right? When they're resisting arrest. But apparently, if a white boy touches a black boy the wrong way, he gets to stab him through the chest. Completely and totally insane. No, he don't need new charges. He deserves life in prison.
Here he is again.
I'm about to go donate some money to Austin and his family for their. You know what's sad is that they have outraised Karmelo Anthony, have outraised the murderer. So the murderer has outraised the victim.
So this has been the case with Kyle Rittenhouse. When he killed those two people, he raised more money than the victim's family and no one said anything. And again, this is a guy, I'm not trying to be mean here. He seems like he's not very well educated and stuff like that. He's trying to put things together, but he's struggling to articulate himself. And also, if you were just going to go donate money to somebody, you would just do it and that would be it, right? So why haven't you done it already? And I bet you he don't have any proof or confirmation that he did donate because he's trying to get some followers and trying to grow in the black conservative movement.
This is what has happened in America, and it shows our lack of God, our lack of moral clarity, our lack of spirituality. You have a person that committed murder, period, point blank. It used to be in our society but they did the same thing to Luigi, who killed the guy. They raised over $1 million for him. The black community is known for making murders into victims because they're a whole victimized culture. And so it's just sad. And I suggest you also go donate money so that for that family who are grieving, and the black community doesn't care about that. In the situation with Karmelo Anthony, and whether it's that or George Floyd or Trayvon Martin or other situations or Neely, why is it that we are only pro-black when it comes to a white person, but not pro-black when it comes to any other area? I've been a black person for a long time. We never stand together as black people unless it's when a white person is involved. We don't stand together. You'll see a black person shoot up a funeral or shoot up a community, and a black little girl will be killed. We're supposed to stay quiet about that. There's no outrage from the national black community. There's nobody really cares. Nobody raises GoFundMe money for that girl's funeral. Nobody even blinks an eye. But when it comes to a white person killing a black person, all of a sudden we're supposed to stand together and act like we're one big happy family. I refuse to stay quiet anymore. I'm going to call out the dysfunction of our own community, because if I don't, who will?
Well, a lot of people are trying to do that, and he's not wrong. That's true. Black people, we handle things from black on black crime higher than anybody black on black crime than white on black crime. But that's the case with every community, right? I'm in Uganda, for an example, as an African American. A Ugandan can do something to another Ugandan, but me as a foreigner, a person who is not in that community, I cannot expect to do the same thing and get away with it. Same thing with white people. They handle white on white issues differently than if a white dude hits a white woman, there's going to be a lot different results or actions than if a black dude does it. So everybody does that. Everybody prefers their own and lets their own get away with more than outsiders. And so if you're looking for that, you're not going to get it because everybody practices that sort of racial nepotism. So what you're asking for is for the blacks to not practice the same racial nepotism that every other group does when it comes to their people. No other group wants to let you, as an outsider, get away with harming their people. And it is going to be okay if their group does it. Now, is it wrong altogether? Sure. But this is what keeps certain groups at the tops. Whites have done that for many years and have conquered the world. Now, blacks are doing it. You want to call the blacks out. Well, you guys don't talk down on black crime. Let me tell you, a lot of America is poor and rural with nothing but whites on welfare. But America doesn't show that. They show the blacks on welfare, okay? It's many white people that don't have the high IQ. We want to show and display blacks having a low IQ. It's so much dysfunctional, crazy stuff happening in the white community. They have killers. They have all kind of people doing sexual assault type of things. And that is kind of swept underneath the rug. Even for their serial killers or school shooters, they make an excuse for them. When it comes to the blacks, now they're demonized. So every group does it in your response to your clip. Is it wrong? Yes, but that nepotism is practiced with everybody and it's never gonna change.
Metcalf's funeral was, I believe, yesterday, and I just want to send an apology to his family members on the behalf of the black community.
Negro, don't nobody know you. Bro, you're going too hard. You just talking down on the black community. And on this video, you barely got 15,000 views. Nobody accepts you in black America, bro, talking like this, okay? And this is from a guy who is a person that votes Republican almost all the way down for the last decade or so, okay? I'm a registered Republican. I would never get on camera and say this foolish stuff. Ever. As a black person, you are so sick. Do not speak for the black community because almost like 90% of the black community feels a little bit different than you, all right?
On the behalf of our racism, our ignorance, the fact that we're justifying the murder of your son in the name of race. He's a human being. He was a good kid. He was a kid that did deserve to have his life snuffed out by some thug. And I say he's a thug because when you kill anybody, you're a thug, right? Any type of murder makes you this thuggish behavior. And so he deserves, and it's sad that they don't offer the death penalty and that they don't offer a life. He won't be getting life in prison, they're saying, because of his age, which is sad because he deserves both. Because this boy will never see the light of day. So I refuse to submit to racism. I'm not a racist person. I love white people just as much as I love black people.
No, you don't. You really love white zaddy, bro, like a lot. You're sort of booty clapping it up a little bit. You're almost booty clapping it up, okay?
I'm a preacher. I'm a righteous preacher. So I don't see color.
Anybody that says that is a damn drug addict that says that for the most part. You're a righteous preacher. You know, somebody will probably ask, like, is he African American, hashtag FBA, or is he from somewhere else? He's talking like, I hate to say it though.
God won't allow me to. So I just apologize to the family that has to bear this on the behalf of a community that accepts and loves violence.
Man, I hope you got some butter biscuits for that.
Man, I wasn't gonna talk on this, but this Carmelo Anthony case, I mean, y'all trying to make it racial. Y'all be trying to do anything. The internet crazy. At the end of the day, you're supposed to beat that white boy ass. That's just it, bro. You can't stab a motherfucker, bro. Like, what the fuck? Y'all crazy as hell, man. At least try to fight. Then what the fuck are you thinking? We don't became immune to murder, bro. And we think it's cool to murder until a white motherfucker murder your ass. That's what I'm trying to say, man. So stop all this fake ass racial, man, whatever y'all be trying to do. Segregation and divide and conquer. Stop falling for the bullshit. People are starting not to matter, and they starting to program y'all not to matter. Like, look at you, dog. You don't see nothing wrong, dog, killing the motherfucker. The fuck? This ain't prison, nigga. Motherfucking third world prison, you'll stab you just because you touch me. Like, y'all don't got the game fucked up, and y'all got to understand what's legal and what's not and teach your damn kids, because I don't know what y'all expecting. I'm RIP to that kid and RIP to him, you know, he gonna have to learn the hard way. I ain't gonna say RIP to him. He might only get 10, you know, for certain situations. That's how the law works. You might get manslaughter from how.
Okay, so out of everybody, I can kind of understand what he's saying. And let me just say this. To already have a knife, again, hey, like I said, I don't know how Texas laws work, right? But he was at a track meet. And I can understand what the dude is saying. Listen, man. Like, why is it so quick for you to just like want to stab somebody because you feel like somebody's putting their hands on you and all of that? I understand what he's trying to say. Unfortunately, I didn't see it, the tape or any of that, but I get where he's coming from. You supposed to go ahead and fight, but are you supposed to fight two people? If that's what you're saying, like, it wasn't like it was just one person, it was two people. Again, I understand what the guy is saying. Like, yes, you know, maybe you want to go heads up and try to catch fade, and then what happens if they hit him and they kill him? That's the situation. I think the point of all of this is, if they didn't approach him and try to force him out of the seat, then it wouldn't have been an altercation. That's what all people are worried about. The kid wasn't bothering anybody. Carmelo wasn't bothering anybody. The kid started the altercation, and then the kid put his hands on him. If that doesn't happen, then the kid is still here today. It happened subsequently after that, and a lot of times we're blaming the victim. But if the kid is not doing that and exhibiting that behavior, we're not there at all. But the kid's still living. Carmelo's still in school. Everything else is okay.
Because it's black and white, everybody wants to, oh, see, he wasn't a thug. Oh, they bullied him. Man, look, you know how many niggas get bullied in the hood? Oh, you know how many dudes get bullied every day in the hood? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Shut up, man. Y'all talk all that about the white kids bullying the black kid, when the black kids are getting bullied by blacks all day long because they're not part of a gang. They're getting jumped. They're getting sweated. You ain't doing shit. You ain't saying shit. You ain't having no answers, no conversations, no community meetings, none of this. You guys aren't calling the head gang members to have a community gathering to try to stop the violence. None of that shit. But you see a white kid and a black kid, and oh, here we go. You want to start bringing out all the racial, whatever you can point out. Come on, man. Save that shit, man. Stop acting like you're always being victimized. You are being victimized more by each other. You guys are victimizing each other every day. I see these youngsters always wanting to try to confront because they can't fight. They all they can do is shoot. They don't have no hands, but they constantly want to act like they tough, big time. Man, you're not tough and big time if you can't fight.
Okay, so Big Herc, shout out to him. He has a really good channel. He's actually from my city, Sacramento, California, right? And I understand what Big Herc is trying to say. Unfortunately, we are not dealing with if, and this is very hard to do, if it was a black kid, if it was a white kid. I mean, if was a fifth, we would all be drunk, right? Y'all remember that saying? If was a fifth, we would all be drunk. We need to talk about what it is. Unfortunately, this case is a white kid and a black kid, right? It wasn't that we would design it like that or it was supposed to be like that. It is a white kid and a black kid. And we are dealing with some racial tensions between the two groups in America over a multitude of years. And so we have to deal with what happened. And it just so happens that one of the kids is white and black, okay? It doesn't matter about what else is happening in the black community because that is not on trial right now. A black on black case is not on trial. If we were dealing with a black on black case, we would have to examine the black on black case by itself, okay? And we would have to isolate that case, but that case is not the issue. We are dealing with this issue, and we have to keep in mind that is what we're dealing with. I understand what he's saying, and a lot of what he's saying, unfortunately, we do understand that with black on black crime, this is true, but that has nothing to do with this.
Hey, this is my one take on that one deal. Or what's that? Karmelo Anthony, the other guy who got unalive. This is my one take, right? This is facts. No, these are facts. If that white guy, it was another black young boy, he had got, I'm telling you right now, the black population is on this app and on the news and donating all this money for his defense, wouldn't say a word. If it was two black dudes, little young dudes, I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't have been a word because you know why? Google violence in Memphis this past week. Google's violence in Wichita, Kansas this week. Google's violence in St. Louis. Google violence in Atlanta. You would see so many young black men hurting other young black men just like that. Even worse, they doing a boom boom. Even worse. And you would never hear black people getting outraged, just the family. You wouldn't hear the news getting outraged. They wouldn't report it like that because they don't care once it's a black on black. The news don't give a fuck. the Roller Martin of the world, these guys who donate money, they don't care as long as black on black. It just can't be a white person. It cannot be a white person. Your life only counts as a black person if there's a white person involved.
And while he is correct in some of those assumptions, or maybe all of them, I definitely see some correlation between him and the last presenter. But to get back to the point, we are not discussing that, unfortunately, sir. If was a fifth, we would all be drunk. Every case is different. Every case has a different circumstance, and no two cases, I'm pretty sure, are the same. Like my biostats teacher taught me in medical school, variances can be similar, but in this case, they are not equal. Similar and equal are not the same. So you're talking about something that is not really a part of what's going on now. The fact is that a black kid stabbed a white kid, and the white kid was threatening him, and that's where we're at now. And we need to look at that right there and looking at if it was the other way around, because we can't, that's not qualified for this. The judge or no attorney in the court of law can say what you say, and it's admissible in the court of law as an attorney. The prosecutor can't say that, and the defense can't say that. And the reason is because it has nothing to do with this case. And we need to look at what the case is. I can say something like, oh, if Jerry Rice played on the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the 49ers, oh, they would have went to 10 Super Bowls. It could be true. We don't know. Like, well, that might not be equal. Whether it's true or not has nothing to do with that. You see, the black on black crime rate keeps rising in the black community. This is not black on black crime. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. I'm out.